Every 86 seconds, someone is diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Compared to other types of cancer, pancreatic cancer is relatively rare, but it is the third leading cause of cancer death in the United States. Only 8.5% of pancreatic cancer patients are alive 5 years after their diagnosis. This is one of the lowest survival rates for any type of cancer. While there are some types of pancreatic cancer, pancreatic adenocarcinoma is the most common and the most dangerous. It represents about 95% of pancreatic cancer cases. When people talk about pancreatic cancer, this is usually the type they are referring to. It is essential to mention this because there is another type of pancreatic cancer called pancreatic neuroendocrine tumors, or PNETs, that can be confused with pancreatic adenocarcinoma. Both types of cancer start in the pancreas, but the similarities end there. They are not the same. The pancreatic neuroendocrine tumors occur when endocrine cells, the cells that they make the blood sugar stabilizing hormones such as the insulin, grow out of control. People should understand and be informed that pancreatic adenocarcinoma is more aggressive than neuroendocrine tumors. For pancreatic cancer, the average 1-year survival rate is 11%. If someone is diagnosed with pancreatic cancer after it has spread to distant organs, the 5-year survival is only 3%. And the average 5-year survival rate for neuroendocrine tumors is greater than 50%. But that percentage is lower if the cancer has spread to distant organs. And a few patients have high-grade aggressive tumors with a worse prognosis. My name is AdryanaAldeen, and it was at the end of September of 2020 when we were in the middle of the worldwide COVID pandemic. And I suddenly started having lower back pain and some acid reflux. And since we were in the middle of the COVID pandemic, I thought I have COVID-19 or a kidney infection. I was shocked when the doctors told me I have a stage 3 adenocarcinoma pancreatic cancer at that diagnosis. When diagnosed, the adenocarcinoma was located in the center and tail of the pancreas. And it was not resectable since it had a vascular invasion involving the celiac vein, the common hepatic artery, and the superior mesenteric artery, all those arteries and veins that provide blood to the rest of the organs in my body. And so then I started receiving several rounds of FOLFIRINOX chemotherapy. And in my case, the tumor did not shrink after all these very toxic chemotherapies. I went through a month of detox, and then I started to do other alternatives. For example, I started eating exceptionally healthy foods, including lots of greens and a plant-based diet, spinach, kale, broccoli, celery, etc. I have 28 rounds of radiotherapy along with oral chemotherapy called siloracapecitabine. And I detoxed for another month after all that. And then the MRI showed that the tumor had shrunk. And I qualified for the surgery, which was an open distal pancreatectomy, a splenectomy. And I underwent that surgery on June 14 of 2021. The doctor removed 2/3 of my pancreas and the spleen. And every day since then, I consume creon at every meal. Creon are the enzymes that replace the pancreatic enzymes that I don't have anymore. I survived 16 months with not evidence of disease. By like most cases, I have a recurrence. And in October of 2022, I had the recurrence of this adenocarcinoma pancreatic cancer presented as a stage 4 pancreatic cancer. I had a second surgery biopsy in late November of 2022 to remove 2 tumors from my neck, as the tumors were in the Birchock node. And those tumors were sent for Foundation 1 CDX exam to see if I have a mutation. I didn't have one. I have a couple new chemotherapies with nab-paclitaxel plus gemcitabine. But in the beginning of the year, in January of 2023, I make the decision to stop all chemo And I decided to start only doing alternatives in order to have quality of life. So I did fenbendazole, I do curcumin, TUDCA, antigens, organic coffee enemas. I go frequently to the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. I do red light therapy. I take ozone therapy. I do it through the veins. I also do vitamin C infusions. I am taking the blue scorpion escazole from Cuba. I take reishi and maitake products. I take CBD oil, guanabana leaf teas. I avoid consuming sugars. I exercise my body, and I maintain a positive and healthy attitude. Certainly, I am unsure what is the next decision that I will do, since I have now the metastasis with nodules in both lungs. And I am very aware that this is a cancer that is progressing rapidly, but I am in God's hands. And I would like to say that at all times, I have received the support of the dearest members of my family, my husband, my children, my mother, my siblings, many friends, acquaintances, supporters, and even fellow patients. I could not do or be where I am without the love, prayers, and support of all those many people involved. Surviving pancreatic adenocarcinoma cancer is very difficult and is very costly. It takes a village to take care for a cancer patient and many resources, especially one with a lethal cancer like this. And I have faith that God has been in control and has allowed me to live longer than the average of a pancreatic cancer patient like me. I know that it's a challenging cancer to overcome, and that I will be in a better place when God decides that I end my days. I would also like to thank my doctors and the staff and all those who have been a source of encouragement in my life. I thank those people dedicated for conducting pancreatic cancer research, those organizations supporting the awareness of pancreatic cancer. And I ask more people to bring awareness to this type of cancer. The purple color symbolizes the awareness about this very terminal type of cancer, pancreatic cancer. As Philippians 1:21 says, "For to me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain."